Jean-Pierre Melville, one of the great directors of the 20th century. He was born on October 20th, 1917, and he died on August 2nd, 1973. He's about the age of my grandmother. Both of them rest in peace. Let's take a look here on Wikipedia. A lot of people don't like Wikipedia. I'm not one of them. You Wikipedia haters, kiss my ass. All right. Here it says it. Jean-Pierre Melville, born Jean-Pierre Grubach, October 20th, 1917 to August 2nd, 1973, the French filmmaker. While with the French resistance during World War II, he adopted the nom de guerre, whatever that means, Melville, as a tribute to his favorite American author, Herman Melville. He kept it as his stage name once the war was over. If you want to see Mr. Melville in action, he played an author in the film Breathless by another great French director. Great director. And he played, he talked about being a playboy, things of that nature, which he really was. Let's look at his work. Okay. His first film was made in 1945, 24 Hours in the Life of a Clown. Second film, 1949, The Silence of the Sea. 1950, The Terrible Children. 1953, When You Read This Letter. I've never seen any of those films, okay? Here, this next one, I have seen. Bob the Gambler, which was remade. Nick Nolte played the part of the master thief in a film made in about 2000. I can't remember the name of it, but Nick Nolte, this film was remade. It was interesting because there was a transsexual who was one of the main people in the film, who it showed him with his big arms and then his female side, and that was very interesting. And it showed Nick taking heroin, and it was pretty crazy. And it also showed Nick in gambling, just like Bob Le Flambeau did. Very great film. Okay, then we've got Two Men in Manhattan, Leon Morterin, Priest, and then La Deuce. Deuce, the Finger Man. I saw that film. Fantastic film. Great beginning, great ending, great action picture. I never saw Magnet of Doom. La Dame Soufflée, Second Breath. That was a fantastic film, starring the great. He was a wrestler, and then he became an actor. I'll get to him in a minute. And then we've got Les Samurai, which was another fantastic film. Army of Shadows, which is probably the best one of the bunch. It's the best film in the bunch. Then The Red Circle, and then Dirty Money. And in let's go. Les Démons Soufflés, Les Samurai, Les Armées des Aubéris, Les Cercle un Flic. I've seen all these several times. So we're going to go through them one at a time. Okay, here we go. Bob Le Flambeau. This was really the beginning of his career for me. This is the first film I'm aware of. This is a heist film. They go through an elaborate heist. Mr. Melville does not believe in happy endings. And this one, of all his films, has a somewhat happy ending. And I'm not going to really go into it, but there is a heist. There is a great scene in the casino. It's a fabulous film. Not the greatest one of all. La Deuce. Okay. This one has, let me find the young man at the time. This guy. Jean-Paul Belmondo. I know I didn't say that right, but he was in Breathless. He was a fantastic movie star. This is a great gangster picture. This has twists and turns. It has a surprise ending. There's some brutal anti-hero stuff. There's slapping around of women. masochism. This is a very politically incorrect movie, but it's a great film. You'll enjoy it. Listen to the commentary. It's a great film. Let's go to this one. Yeah, that one's not the... Okay. This is out of the heist films. This is the best one of the bunch. This is a fantastic film. This guy right here, Lino Ventura. He is awesome, a great movie star, a great athlete. There's his film credit. We could spend a video on him. Fantastic movie star. This guy was the Lee Marvin of France. He was the, Charles Bronson, Lee Marvin. He's a man's man, and he was fantastic in this film. Fantastic. I believe this is the one that they start out with a prison break, and it is just gripping from beginning to end. This is one you can't miss. Fantastic, fantastic movie. The Samurai. Here he is. This young man, his name is Alain de Leon. Another one of the great movie stars of all time. There he is today. There he is today. One of the great movie stars of all time. He made a film with Charles Bronson. He made films with all kinds of people. I believe he was in the movie with Charles Bronson and Toshiro Mifune. I think he played the bad guy, if I remember right. But this was a fantastic movie. There's a lot of gunfighting in it. There's a lot of safe cracking. Not to be missed. Not one of my favorites of all of them. It says there is no greater solitude than that of a samurai, unless it is that of the tiger in the jungle. Perhaps Bushido. All right, let's get to the last two of the last three. Army of Shadows. I'm going to do that one last. Unflick. I saw that one recently. That one had Catherine Deneuve, Alain de Leon, Richard Crenna, and this one is fantastic. Catherine Deneuve lights this one up. She is fantastic. She's the best thing in this movie. The tension between Mr. De Leon and Mr. Crenna is great. There's a fabulous heist in this. A couple of heists, but I love the heist with the airplane and with the helicopter and the train. Some people think it was kind of goofy. Le Cercle Rogue. Now this one starts out with a fake saying. They're talking about it. Starts out with the Buddha, and he makes a quote. Well, the Buddha never said this. Mr. Melville made up a saying that the Buddha supposedly said, and said that the fate is the red circle. And this is a great movie. This one has Mr. De Leon and some other guy, and some other guys that get involved. There's a lot of running around. There's a lot of capers. The cop in it is great. It's just a fantastic movie. They rob, and once again, you have a bad ending. But this is fantastic. And I saved the best for last. The Army of Shadows. This film is utterly, utterly gripping. It is about the French resistance during the Nazi period in the middle 40s. Mr. Ventura is fantastic. He is outacted by Simone Signoret, this lady here. She was older when she did this. I think the film was made in the 60s. So she was already 47, 48, and she looked 50. She was fantastic in the movie. Fantastic. Very strong woman. Mr. Ventura, unbelievable. This is an unbelievable, heroic, powerful film. I can't give enough accolades for it. If you think that your life is bad and that you've got it bad and that your life is difficult, watch this movie. This movie will shock you. It will amaze you. It's just incredible. I can't say enough about it. Mr. Melville was a great director. The most interesting thing that I remembered about him was he was saying in the 60s, I remember in one of the interviews, because I watched all the Criterion Collection thing on him, they were asking him about, what about your fans? What about your people? And he said, I don't want any fans. I don't want any cult people. He dumped all the people who followed him. He didn't want any followers. He didn't want anybody to look up to him. He just wanted to make films. That's all he wanted to do. He was an artist. In that regard, he reminded me of Nietzsche. You know, he didn't want fans. Nietzsche said, I'm here to upset you. I'm here to make you better. He was only interested in art. He wasn't interested in all this crap. He wasn't interested in it. Explore this guy. All these movies are good. I hope that Criterion or whoever makes movies fix these films, and I plan to see all of them if I can. And I invite you to. You will be enriched. Your life will be better if you spend some time with Jean-Pierre Melville.